Okay, let us examine this question. It says that Victor has a ball launcher as shown. Okay, Victor has a ball launcher as shown. So when Victor closes the switch, so where is the switch? So do take note, the switch is here. So you can highlight this switch here. This is a switch. Okay, the steel piston. So highlight the steel piston. The steel piston move downwards and touch. Okay, I want to underline this one. And touch the iron rod. And the spring was compressed. So you notice here. So when if I close here, so you can annotate here. If this is being closed, the electrical energy, right? The chemical potential energy from the battery is being converted into electrical energy, and this iron rod will be turned into an electromagnet. So notice steel is a magnetic material, right? So this will be attracted downwards. So you can annotate this way. Okay, by annotating, it can help you to formulate the answer as I mentioned to you. So do this, learn this skill well. So this steel piston will move downward and touch the iron rod. That means this part will totally kiss this part. It will touch. So there's no gap. It's important. Because this will affect your subsequent answer later. So they ask you what happened to the iron rod when the switch was closed. So you must mention that. Because they ask you what happened. So they ask you explain, right? So you just mention it has become an electromagnet. Okay. It has become an electromagnet. So you just answer this. What happened to the iron rod? So the iron rod has become an electromagnet. Okay. The iron rod has become an electromagnet. Okay, next. Okay, now you need to explain. Underline the word explain. Explain how the ball launched upward when Victor opened. Okay, that's mean he closed, the thing come down, right? So when he opened, so you erase off this part. So when open, what happened? Because the iron rod will demagnetize. So when it demagnetize, you notice there's a spring there, right? So this spring will cause it to have a recoil. So it spring back, right? So this recoil actually causes the ball to be launched upwards. So again, you annotate this way. So they see the circuit is open. They ask you explain, right, how the ball was launched upward. So when the circuit is open, the electromagnet is demagnetized. So it stops attracting the steel piston. The spring pushes the ball upward and out of the launch barrier. So let me put it down for you here. So this is the complete answer. You should say the circuit is open. When the circuit is open, okay, put in the word when the circuit is open, ED, the electromagnet is demagnetized. It stops attracting the steel piston. The spring pushes the ball upwards and out of the barrel. Okay, let me rewrite. Put here. Separate the statement, easier to see. Okay, so when the circuit is open, the electromagnet is demagnetized. Stop attracting the steel piston. The spring pushes the ball upwards and out of the launch barrel. Okay, next. Suggest a way to make the ball launch higher. So very easy. Use a stiffer spring. Okay. Use a stiffer spring. Next. What is a property of the steel piston that allows the launcher to work? Okay, so it must be magnetic. So it is a magnetic material. So they ask you what is a property of the steel piston. So you say it is a magnetic material. So this one you capture this part. This one. Yeah. And okay, the next question. Okay, let me pause for a while. Okay, this is the final questions of the ACS 2022 section B. Okay, the question shows you this experimental setup. Okay, so do take note, experimental setup questions in PSLE occupies about 8 marks sometimes, 8 marks in total. So they may have a few, maybe 2 experimental setup. So here you can see Alvin used a catapult to launch a ball outdoor and measured the distance moved by the ball. So I want to highlight this part. So he launched the ball outdoor. Because outdoor they have other elements that may affect the flight path of the ball. For example, the wind speed and wind direction. Okay. So he repeated the experiment twice and recorded his result as shown. So they have different tries. So they have 1 try, 2 try, 3 try. So this is distance move. So give one reason why the distance moved by ball X was different for each try. So I've given you this hint here. The hint is not written in the exam, but I help you in answering. So you should say that the wind speed or direction of wind changes for each try. So this is one possible reason. You can say that the amount or direction, the speed or direction of wind changes for each try. Next, name the force that was acting on the ball that it caused it to slow down its motion in the air. So you can put frictional force or you can put air resistance, okay, in the air. So you have frictional force or air resistance. Okay, this one. Next, Alvin's friend suggested that he should conduct his experiment on a sand pit instead of on the hard ground. Explain how this will give a more accurate result. So you notice here, I like this one. You need to explain because this experiment was carried out on hard ground. So you can also do this annotation. As he fired the ball, right? So when the ball hits here, right? So if it's a hard ground, the ball will continue to roll forward, right? And also there will not be any imprints on a hard ground. Okay, hard means when the ball hit, they won't form any depression or any imprint. So instead, he should do on a sand pit. Because on a sand pit, the soft sand, when the ball hit, right, it will cause a depression and the ball will stay there. And this will give a more accurate result. Because you need to explain, and it's 1 mark. So you say that on a sand pit, okay, so you put on a sand pit, the ball will not bounce after it lands. The ball will not bounce after it lands. A clear depression, or something called imprint, will be made by the impact of the ball. So the distance can be measured more accurately. It can be measured more accurately. So this answer, on a sand pit, the ball will not bounce after it has landed. A clear depression, or sometimes called an imprint, will be made by the impact of the ball, so the distance can be measured more accurately. So I've gone through this already. So I have mentioned here, although this is the end of the evaluation of this exam, but it's a new beginning because next week you'll start your term 4, which is the 3 weeks towards the PSLE. So I wish you all the best to stay joyful and focused in your preparation. Yeah. So this is a question that I've analyzed with you. Okay, what's the program for next week? Okay, next week I will collate a few other schools questions, because if you notice this week I only do ACS, because I find the questions is quite good standard, that's why I use ACS. Next week is even more interesting. Next week, as I have time to select a few schools, different challenging questions to discuss with you for next week. So this today I just recap this, just do a quick review of the questions we did today. As you can see, this is the ACS paper in section B. So we have discussed quite a number of questions. We hope that through this exercise, it can help you to sharpen your skills in answering the questions through my One Academy training. And highlight, okay, annotation. For some new student, annotation is a skill I want you to develop in answering section B. Because as I show you in some questions, like by annotating like in this way, you like the sharp T, right? Herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore, it can help you to mentally prepare your answer. Yeah, even for this as well, annotates. So annotation is a useful examination skill, like especially in map reading. So for example, in this, just to recap, right, you've highlight the flow direction of the river. Okay, the directional flow of the river, and also this one as well. Talk about the processes. So water evaporate becomes water vapor, loses heat and condense. And then also as well, prepare an answer. You describe this experimental setup, remove the ball, compare the water level. This as well. So annotation is an important skill. And yeah, these are drawing also, circuit diagram, and also this conversion of energy. Seeing the pattern, you can annotate, because this increased by every 20 centimeters, the loudness increased by every 10 units. So you can see the pattern as you annotate. This will help you mentally prepare your answers, and as well as this. Especially say when the switch is closed, so you close it, this is magnetized, steel piston move down, spring being compressed. When you open the switch, demagnetize, spring recoil, fire the ball upwards. Okay, so I wish you all the best in your revision for your exam. So wishing you all the best, stay focused and stay joyful. So this is Mr. Howard Yu, sending my greetings to every one of you. So I need you to turn on your video for attendance taking. Thank you.